The Butterfly Box by Santa Montefiore. Narrated by Juanita Mcmahon.
Part 1. Chapter 1. Viña del Mar, Chile, summer, 1982. Federica opened her eyes onto a different world. It was hot, but not humid, for the sea breeze carried with it a cool undercurrent from where it had dallied among the waves of the cold Pacific Ocean. Her room was slowly coming to life in the pale morning light that spilled in through the gap in the curtains, casting mellow shafts onto the floor and walls, swallowing up the remains of the night, exposing the regimental line of sleeping dolls. The constant barking of Senora Barraca's dog at the end of the street had left the animal with little more than a raw husk, but he still continued to bark as he always did. Some day he'd lose his voice altogether, she thought, which wouldn't be a bad thing. At least he wouldn't keep the neighbours awake. She had once tried to feed him a biscuit on her way to school, but her mother had said he was probably riddled with all sorts of diseases. "Best not to touch him. You don't know where he's been," she had advised, pulling her 6-year-old daughter away by the hand. But that was the problem. He had never been anywhere. Federica breathed in the sweet scent of the orange trees that floated up on the air, and she could almost taste the fruit that hung heavily like lustrous packages on a Christmas tree. She kicked off the sheet that covered her and knelt on the end of her bed, leaning out through the curtains onto a world that wasn't the same as the one the sun had set on the day before. With the rising of the new sun, a quiver ran through her skinny body, causing a broad smile to spread across her pale face. Today, her father was coming home after many months' travelling. Ramon Campioni was a giant of a man, not only in stature. At well over 6 foot he was tall for a Chilean and tall for an Italian, which was where his family originated from, but in his gigantic imagination, which, like the galaxy itself, seemed never-ending and full of surprises. His adventures took him to the far corners of the earth, where he was inspired by everything different and everything beautiful. He travelled, wrote, and travelled some more. His family barely knew him. He was never around long enough for them to find...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?